Live with me. I'm Simply Lesa. I try to keep things simple, though it feels like life is complicated sometimes. And we come out here as a community, and and with my new Wendy. So now it's the Wendy and Lesa show. Here we go. And yes, for all of you that do your holidays right now, I personally do not, no offense to anybody, but y'all have a great time. I know it's a big deal to get together with your family, and I know how it feels when I do the holidays that I do. So, y'all, I hope you all are having a great time getting together with your families and whatever, or your friends that are like family or whatever. Um, we're going to have a few technical weirdnesses this weekend. I can tell already. So sometimes my signal is poor. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I got this headset in, not the other one. I went out to the car to get the big tripod, and the doors are frozen shut on the car. So until the sun hits the car, I ain't breaking a handle to get in after a tripod. So I'm holding the phone in my hand because the little tripod, this thing that holds the phone, which comes off, but I only have one of the other kind. It only holds the phone portrait, and I need it landscape. I need it that way. Anyway, so useless. So here we are. I thought I'd sit in front of the window this direction today. I braided my hair different today. I thought y'all would like to have a change. I wanted a change. I think that I am starting finally to feel like I have a little bit of a handle on being here for the winter and things. Um, I am here for the winter because of finances. I thank you so much, Maggie. Thank you. I appreciate all the info y'all give me and the pats on the back. They really do help. And thank you to, I'm going to forget the couple's name, but they were on last week. They actually got on my Amazon wish list, and they bought me a new shirt. Not this one, it's a blue one, but they bought me a new winter shirt that's got fleece on the inside. Thank you, Catherine, for telling me this sounds good. Hi, Rex. Thank you for being here. Rex and I met at an Overland Expo. I don't remember which one we met at because we have both showcased our vehicles and taught at a number of different Overland Expos. Rex is from Texas and travels around on a motorcycle, pulling a trailer and and what's the is it and collects or helps an agency with donations, like he gets donations per mile or something like that. Rex, you can explain that if you'd like to. I'm so glad that you're here. Donna, welcome, nice to see you this week. um Guys, like always, housekeeping stuff real quick. Like always, please, if you're asking a question, put 3 uppercase Q's first so I can see it. Thank you so much, whoever has been doing the super thanks and super chats. YouTube sent me a check this week. Woohoo! It's almost enough to do the next repair to the next vehicle. Next, the blue car. So as soon as we'll get to that in a minute. Jeremy, hey, I'm glad to see you. I wondered if you were going to come out. I understand that Mike from Nevada, from Boss Custom, might be here today. He evidently was really impressed. A lot of you guys, how did you guys like having the interview and the little tour of MJK Adventures um, rig last week. Was that fun or what? I had such a good time having them here. And so did Wendy, even though Wendy had only been with me a few days. Um, Wendy really is a very social dog and she likes to be around and play with other dogs. I don't know if that means I'm going to have to get a second one. I want to get a second dog. You know, I, I don't know. But last night she was on guard all night. Something was outside. Oh, you're a different Rex. I'm so sorry. Well, we had the story about the other Rex, anyways. You're from Washington State. Well, welcome, Rex. The other Rex is interesting too. Do you have any interesting things about you want to say, Rex, since I gave a whole story about the wrong guy? Hey, I'm human. I make mistakes too. So I don't have a big thing planned for today. I have been having a lot of trouble with my phone signal this past week. Um, there are times when there is no signal at all for hours. I have a Wii Boost, but I'm not sure it's working correctly, so I don't know what to do about that right now. Haven't really taken the time to mess with it. I've been trying to wrap my head around. Ah, thanks, Rex. I've been trying to wrap my head around being in this new adventure, um, having come from the oops, my other car is still in. Uh, my other car is still in Nevada, waiting to be the new engine be rebuilt, and the and I might get Mike to do a few extra things while he's got it because he's a restoration specialist. So I might have him do things like window seals and oh, there's a possibility he's got a paint booth up there. There's a possibility of paint job, but I don't know the answers to everything I'm going to have done. A lot has to do with finances. You guys got to remember that I'm not the only one in the world that wants to be adventurous or has learned to be adventurous as a as an alternative to being depressed or sad or having some mentally ill thing or being, stuck in a homeless shelter or something. I just chose adventure over other options. And so once I figured out being on disability and low income that I had enough money to travel somewhere. In the beginning, I was in New York City and I started off, I had $50 left at the end of the month. Well, where can I go for 50 bucks? And so the first couple of times I just got on the subway and went out to Coney Island and hung out for a whole day and then went back home. And after that, I started going, well, wait a minute, what if I could save 70 bucks? Well, then I could get on a train and I could go somewhere else. And then once I hit 100 bucks, I could like spend the night somewhere. So I just worked my way up to having adventures. And it always was in my mind. I wanted to run away from home when I was 5. And um, my oldest sister was going to go with me and she chickened out. I was out the door with my bag and she wouldn't go with me. So I had to go. I couldn't stay. I mean, I couldn't go because, yeah, it wasn't working anyways. Bummer. And I used to love to ride my bicycle when I was, at home. We didn't know I had MS when I was younger. I think now looking back on it, I probably have had MS a lot of years. And it probably affected my health all the way along. I just wasn't aware of it. I really want to apologize. So I grabbed my coffee while we were all scrolling. I apologize, but it's the way the signal is right now. I want to show you guys something. I don't know if you can see it. We're going to turn the camera around. While I was getting my coffee, uh, can you see steam rising off that branch behind that chair over there. That's where the sun is starting to melt the ice off things in the yard. Let's check over here too. I'm walking to the. Oh, there's going to be too much sun in your all's face. Yep, too much sun in the camera here for that. But it's really icy out. No, I haven't fixed that gate yet back there. That's one of the places Wendy can get out. Something was here in the night too, because Miss Wendy was hunting a lot of the night and staying on guard. She didn't want to. Can you see the ice on the chair? And said it was pretty cold out here. So let's turn you back around because I want you to see my pretty braid today because I did my hair different because I felt like it because I think I'm starting to feel more normal, more me. The adjustments sometimes are awkward. It's a thing. It happens. It happens to every human being who does adventurous style things or um, who do who make change, who live with change, who embrace change. Change is great, and all of life is change. Anyways, there's I mean, what else is there? But thank you, Donna. But change and adjustments to new things take time. And there's some people like when you adopt a new animal, the shelters will often tell you that you need to give the animal 3 days to calm down, 3 weeks to feel like they know where their food dish is, and then 3 months to feel like it's their home. And that does tend to be true. But humans do the same things. So it's in while. We're gonna let her. I sometimes it's nice and warm now. I know I just interrupted, but it's 70 inside the house, too hot. But I can leave the door cracked open like that for her, and she knows to push it and she to come back in. But she's been just looking outside, wandering. Um, but when we go through anything that's any kind of change, it it takes quite a while for our mind and our body to settle down from the change. And I can't remember, I would have to look it up. I don't know how many weeks I've been back. Maybe 3 weeks I've been back from Nevada. And the trip, maybe it's a month, but the trip back here was stressful because I thought there were horrible things wrong with the car. And Jeremy as bad an issue as we thought it did. And as soon as I have $200, which I'm really close to that right now. I think I'm short like 20 or $30 um, for going back to the shop to have them change all the fluids, like in the differential and stuff like that, all the gear oils and stuff. And because I asked how soon could we get it done, so all the supplies are at the shop already. Stan said that the rough estimates right around $213, something like that. And I don't remember exactly how much I have in my account, but I'm right around $190 or something. And so as soon as I have enough, as soon as I got $200, then I'll go have that done. Um, then we'll know how safe it is to use the blue car kind of in a normal, pretty to do. Okay, let's see what else. So in my life and traumas and things like that. Yeah, by the way, I am going to start, I think it's EMDR, trauma therapy, sometime in the next few weeks. as long as the phone thing works or something. It's something my therapist has been asking me to do it all summer, but it wasn't, I wasn't in Arizona, so it was a problem. So, so when you don't have much control, or whatever you are capable of doing yourself won't make many changes to things, sometimes your adjustment or the way you react to that change is different from reacting to a change that you had a choice to make. So, being thrown into, oops, something broke. Um, Being thrown into a health issue, being thrown into, whatever it is, um, as opposed to, I'm going to go get blah, blah, blah. No, I'm going to go take a trip to blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to go buy the ticket. And it's two different reactions. They both come with stress, and humans can deal with stress just fine. And we can choose to call the stress a negative thing and be like, oh crap, this is so freaking hard. And yeah, even I do that. In fact, Jeremy saw me this week at the shop. And because like other people aren't out here, and Jeremy is, but saw me at the shop the other day, and I was like, man, I had to stop at a stop sign and just cry coming in. I just couldn't like put things together, didn't know what was wrong, yelled at Wendy for the first time. I wanted her to be safe. And I don't really have a good car seat situation for her yet. And she just was not cooperating. And I lost it and I yelled at her. And it wasn't horrible, but I felt horrible. And so it's things like that. Like I can control me in those situations, but that wasn't cool. And I just was like, I'm such a bad fur mom, crying at a stop sign. And hopefully none of you passed me and, saw me crying at the stop sign, but whatever. Um, but something is changing since I was in town. I think it was Thursday. We're having some bad weather. Hi, Donna. Kay. Having some bad weather. My battery packs are empty. Zero. Both of them are on zero. The refrigerator won't run anymore. So today I'll have to finish cooking the last of the fresh hamburgers because they've thawed out. They're still cold. I checked them before I started doing this. I checked them, but they got to be cooked today. And in cooked form, they'll last 3 more days, but they're only 2 or 3 days worth of meat, anyways. And the soup bones I had are on the wood stove right now in the little pot. Whoops, go that way a little bit. In the little pot behind that stainless steel tea kettle. And so that the wood stove's on. I got the door open for Wendy, and it's 72 in here. So, you know, whatever. And Wendy, I just saw her run down the driveway. She still can get out of the yard, but not as easy. I need to do some chicken wire work, but I haven't been. I'll get it when I get it. And so far, she's been safe. Wendy loves to uh, chase rats and hunt, and she's a good dog. She's a Chorky, which is a Chihuahua Yorkie. She sheds a little bit, but I don't seem to be allergic to the hair, thank God. And this dog, just like I was talking about the change with people and the adjustment periods and stuff, this dog did not take as long as normal. I don't know her complete story, but I know she was surrendered by the family who had her to a rescue. And she just, you're my mom, you're my person, and this is my house. And real quick, she learned that this territory is safe for her. What did it take? She's really smart. 2, 3 times we were in the car, and every time I put her in the car, I put her in through the back door. I have a thing about that with dogs. I don't want their dirty paws on my seat, and I don't feel safe with them riding in the front. I want them in the back. So I just always load her in the back, taught her how what I wanted her to do. I think 3 times of getting in the car, and she gets up and she goes to that same door, gets up in the back, tries to by herself. You know, she's a good dog. She's going to work out well for me. I hope I don't have to get her company. I hope I can just keep her visiting with other dogs so that she gets the social stuff that she needs. But I also need to do that myself. This past summer, being so close with Mike and his family at Boss Customs in Nevada, um, I need more daily interaction with others. I probably should be making more phone calls, but like I said, I've been having a little trouble with phone signal up here. I'm probably going to have to budget, figure out a way to make more money and not affect my disability check, but also in order to get Starlink. That would change my life. It is a monthly payment that I'm not used to, but it would change my life. Jeremy, I see that comment. Thank you so much. I I tend to be a little harder on myself. I want my changes to come faster. I want to grow faster. I want to get over stuff faster. And I have to remember that my tendency to want everything done now, yesterday, quick, fast, perfect, whatever, that tendency in my personality comes from my past and the fact that I didn't think I was going to be alive when, I thought I was going to die so many times that I just kind of figured I better finish it now or the stuff now because I have the chance if I wait. The opportunity won't be there. And so it's part of why, I would have jumped off the deep end of the pool. You know, what if I'm not here tomorrow? I won't get to try it. So let's try it. Okay, I won't bungee jump. I might have when I was younger, but now that I know about the MS, there's some limitations with my strength and my balance and my health. And I'm not super, super happy with it, but I don't see how to change it yet. I will soon. Of course, it's really wet right now. We had a lot of snow and rain, and it's cold enough that this morning the ground was frozen. Um, and I won't be able to. Well, I probably could drive out if I needed to because I have 4-wheel drive and it works just fine. Um, but I probably won't drive out until say Wednesday or something. Let the ground dry up. We're not expecting any more rain for a few days. Let the ground dry up. Let my battery packs get back up to full. Um, I was smart enough to have bought some canned corned beef so that I have meat that is canned here. So that just in case, I got snowed in, I wasn't without food. Um, and I have plenty of coffee because for some reason I guess I decided I'm a coffee person and I'm just going to be that. And that's, get over it, whatever. Oh, whoops. There we are. We're back. I was like, well, if it's not coming back, I'll just, move on to something else. So I fixed Wendy ground beef and hamburger and eggs for breakfast. I don't like the eggs, I guess. And I'm allergic to eggs, so that's not working for me. So I decided while you guys were gone a few minutes, you guys were gone, while my blow the dust off the dishes. I'm getting a soup plate to fix Wendy to change. Ooh, I forgot that was on. That's right. I left that kettle of water on because whoops, I'm not showing you. That little kettle of water is still heating. And part of the reason is because, whoops, I could be showing the picture, couldn't I? That can of Sterno is almost empty. That's in the thing. And so Wendy did not like her breakfast this morning. Now I know I gave her cooked eggs before, so I know what she wants. She's been, with me being carnivore and eating only meat, I've been, sharing. So she's been eating a lot of burger, and I went to American Arrow down in beef company down in St. John's, and they have frozen dog food, which is burger that's mixed with organ meats. And I got her some of that. Let's see if she'll eat that. Okay. Here, Wendy, come here. Wendy. Well, she did come in a minute ago and checked on me. Just popped the door open and checked on me. Go eat that. Have your food. She's looking at it like, what's wrong with it? It's not normal. I don't want that. Well, she might eat it. She's still looking at it funny. Okay. What, are you going to be picky with me today? Let's give her this piece instead. I was showing you all my process. Here, Wendy, see if you'll eat that. Now, if she eats that, then I know it's the eggs for sure. But I can't eat eggs, so. All right. Let's turn you all back around. I'm going to close this door again because the breeze is chilly. All right. What do we need to talk about today with things coming and going? Yes, all in God's time. Absolutely. And I do know that. But I know also that Lesa, have a tendency to be like, oh, well, if we want to do that, let's do it now and don't wait, because I might die or something. I don't know. I had that opportunity to go to Baja and I was not waiting, but I got to remember too that I did have my diagnosis of MS right around that time, and it did affect the way I was thinking greatly. And guess what? There's Miss Wendy. Yep, she doesn't want the burger that touched the eggs. Oh, silly animals. All right. So let's see. What else is going on? I don't even know what else is going on. It's been cold. Oh, I got my fuel assistance. Okay, for heating fuel. It was all approved, and they already paid the guy, and he brought me 1/3. I'm supposed to get 3 cords of wood, and I got 1. So soon that will get taken care of. And like I said, I am really starting to feel more like myself again. It's been weird. Wendy, a bit of a diva. I guess you could say that. Oh, we did. By the way, somebody did. Carrie at the farmer's market brought me a harness that fits her. It's pink, and a T-shirt that fits her, and it's pink. Not usually my style, but whatever. When she's cold, I put it on her because she's a small dog, and I don't want her getting too cold. So, yeah, she's a little bit of a diva. She's smart though, and I don't mind having a smart dog, so whatever. She probably will eat that hamburger with the eggs if I leave it down long enough and don't baby her. Yeah, because she's eating now, but I feed her well. But I feed all my animals well. I want them to be happy and live as long as they can. And I do feed the birds even. I have a suet block hanging in the pignon that's out in the driveway. Oh, and when Jason and Melinda were here, Jason needed to test his winch on that big truck. He had done some extra work and wanted to, he needed to run the engine and do a couple of things to test whatever he had done as maintenance. And part of the maintenance he was doing was on his winch. And he had some new kinetic ropes he wanted to play with. And so they pulled a couple of the trees in the easement road for me. Yay. And so some of that stuff, that's a big thing to get done. Um, I don't know. I don't know what else right now, but getting to know the new dog, getting to start to feel comfortable being home again. Oh, I almost had a chimney fire last week. That was a little bit my own fault, but I buy this on the floor down there. That bucket right there, soot destroyer stuff. That one I think is Rutland brand. But anyways, I burn that in my wood stove to help to keep the chimney clean. And it has always worked really, really good. But I couldn't find it. They used to sell it at the Ace Hardware down in St. John's. They didn't anymore. And so I finally found it on Amazon for $11. So I bought that. And luckily, it was the day that Jason and Melinda were leaving that I got worried about the chimney, and Jason was able to use my two ladders I have and get up there and clean things a little better. And I had just, okay, Wendy, you're crowding me, babe. So I had just gotten that um, soot destroyer stuff to burn again. The active ingredient in that is TSP. So I've got that I'm using all the time. That helps. My chimney's fine. But all the things of just readjusting to being in cold weather and maneuvering and with MS. I wish I didn't have to explain it that way. Maybe I got to come up with a better way to explain that. But um, I don't know. I feel like I need to be careful with change of seasons with my body. And in fact, I said something to my therapist the other day about maybe I'll buy myself a pair of like fleece pajamas or something. Because if I wake up in the morning and it's really, really cold, my body feels stiffer getting going. It's not that I can't do it, but I don't like being a person who sits around in the morning waiting for my body to warm up enough so I can move. And that sounds old. Whatever. Um, but I've always not cared about, I'm warm in the blankets. So what am I worried about when I wake up in the morning? But when I have to get up and start the fire, sure, it would be great if somebody else was starting a fire, but I don't expect that. And nobody's here. So so if I was able to get out of bed and stay warm, I might not be as stiff. Although I'm hoping those things just work themselves out too. Oh, and I started to say with Miss Wendy having a harness now. We'll do more leash walks soon. Haven't got in the habit of doing that yet, but we've still been, you know, messing around with things. So just getting resettled, kind of. I've got some yard work to do, but the ground's frozen. So there's some things I can't do right now. There's some things I can. And every couple of days, I've got to go bring wood from the wood pile over. Oh, and Melinda, what a blessing. Melinda wanted to play with splitting wood. And so Jason showed her how to use my axe, which wasn't as heavy as the one he carries, and taught her how, and showed her to just put the problem pieces that have knots in them and stuff over in a different pile. And she split in one day a whole lot of wood into smaller pieces that are so much more manageable for me and so helpful, and let me relax a little bit on how quickly I have to go do more work over there before I can, make a fire. Because when I first got home, it was like, well, I need kindling. Well, the fastest way to get kindling is go pick up sticks off the ground, and when they're dry, that's great. When they're wet, that's not so good. And then, but anyways, so it's much better. Um, and what a big help that was. I don't know. I did do a couple of things to the garden room. It looks like a greenhouse, but people, it is not completely enclosed. And that's why I hesitate to call it a greenhouse, because I'm protecting anything I'm growing from weather. It was just the wood in the stove, girl. You don't have to jump. The wood in the stove settled. Um, yeah, the garden room, just I'm protecting it from the weather and the animals, and it's enclosed. It's not, I'm not heating it. It's not completely enclosed. It's not a greenhouse, because a greenhouse here wouldn't work so good anyways. In the summer it would burn everything. So I did put a piece of, because I have an extra piece of plastic. I put an extra plastic tarp up on one side the other day, just to get that done. Messed around with my water port for taking a shower. Couldn't pressurize it for anything. Got so frustrated. But that water port works so good on the two-door tracker. And so usefulness on the two-door tracker is invaluable. But it doesn't, I don't have a trailer hitch on the blue one yet. A trailer hitch for the blue one, when I looked it up online, not even a brand name one like a Kurt or something like that. I think it was $170. So that'll be a minute before I invest in that. Though it would be useful because I use my vehicles. But that little blue car, the gas tank's in the back end too. And so it ends up being all the heavy weights in the butt end of that when you load stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm working on stuff. Uh, I got the fire pit and the stuff for the coffee for being social once a week at the farmers market, the Witchwell Farmers Market swap meet. But then it snowed and rained really bad, and so they canceled for this today. Yesterday was supposed to be their Christmas bazaar, and they had to cancel the whole thing. So much for that. And then, like I said, this morning the ground was frozen, but it won't stay frozen. And so, anytime by 10 o'clock, once the sun hits everything, then it'll be mud. So that's a thing. I have a lot of mail I've got to finish going through. Oh, I got the MDV here in Arizona, is what we call the DMV. Um, I got that stuff finally done. I was so anxious that day. go in and try to do a normal computer thing. Shouldn't have been an issue for me. Don't know why. I just couldn't make anything work, and then realized they had hung the Christmas decorations over the directions for how to use their little kiosk. So no wonder I didn't know. And the girl at the front desk was like, "Well, what is your problem? How come you're so old you don't know what you're doing?" I'm like, "No, I was a techie. I get this just fine." Then I moved the there wasn't any place to set your paper down. Anyway, so then I moved the green garland thing. And when I moved it, there's the directions on how to use the freaking thing. If I could have seen those, I didn't have to ask that girl questions so much. Anyways, whatever. Oh, hey Iris. Hey Iris, I knew you were coming because you told me you were. You said something on Facebook. And I knew you took taking your dog for a walk and everything. That's all right. You'll catch up. I feel like there's not that much to talk about today, but I seem to find things, don't I? Do you guys have questions? Is there Oh, it might, Iris. It might think you're in California, especially if you're down in Quartzsite. I hope you're having fun. Your first Quartzsite thing. I'm not a big fan of Quartzsite, but I was over that. What, the first year or two. Once you find out that there's water kiosks where you can take the hose over your car and fill your jugs. I told the guy here locally that he needs to add a hose on his so that we don't have to always take the jugs out of the car. He was like, "Oh, I never thought of that." I was like, "Yeah, I got pictures." I could stand to do some more work with uh, photos and videos and stuff that I've got. But I also feel like I need to be a little more settled, calm, something, so that I can come up with a storyline so I know what I'm telling y'all, but whatever. And I should do more shorts. I should. But I was telling y'all, I did get there you go, Iris. Now you're a girl after my own heart because I would rather be at Craigie Wash over Quartzsite myself. Quartzsite's just like different strokes for different folks. Not my place. And I heard that they're upping the charge for the fee for the LTVAs from 180 a year to 300. I'm like, that's the government just, I don't know. They, I don't know. Be careful before I say something, right? But that's just not cool. I mean, I don't want to pay for it anyways because whoever loves being down there in the LTVAs, enjoy yourselves. It's still cheap, yeah, but I don't want to pay for that stuff, so I don't, and I never did. Actually, do you know that I never paid for the LTVA? I have had stickers twice, but it was because I met somebody, friends of mine that I knew, who had vans and didn't have a second vehicle, and they made me their second vehicle. Oh, she's my sister. I was like, okay, okay. So they gave me their sticker so I could go stay, but I don't like to stay in those places. Those people are not my people. um yeah, it's different being here with the cold. I'm fine, nothing wrong. Can't wait until I'm on a regular schedule with putting Wendy on a leash and walking, but I'm not quite there yet. I want to build the porch railing for the front porch, but that's going to take money probably next month. That's going to take money because I can't remember if it's 6 or 12 2x4s to do that. So, yeah, so that's not happening yet, but it'll look good once I do it. Um, and then I've been working with the bathhouse a little bit. Right now, I'm just letting Wendy, leaving the door open and letting Wendy go in and out so that she's keeping the rats out. Oh, the comment I made was it Wednesday in my weekly update thing on Facebook. No more nighttime sounds. I'm actually getting to sleep. That's a big deal. It's odd because, once there was all the chewing and I couldn't find them, so I figured they're under the house. So then I opened the hole back up to let them out. Then I wasn't sure whether they left or they just moved back in. So I closed it back. I closed it up. I opened it. I closed it again. I opened it again. I closed it. I'm not opening it again. So now, when it's been quiet, I've been waiting for, did it die underneath? Is it going to stink? How long is that going to happen? Um, but I'm sleeping through the night finally. That's a big deal. Oh, sounds like cabin fever. It could be, but I think, Jeremy, I think a lot of it's just the readjustment to, my vehicles have always been more home to me than anything else. And the cabin was just a cabin. It was just to get out of the weather when I got here because the weather can be really extreme here. You know that, Jeremy. And you've never been to my place, so you don't know the differences here as opposed to where you are closer to St. John's. But I had a strange relationship with the idea of home when I was young. So then when I found out that I could travel first, that was fantastic. So the traveling was the bomb. I lived in a van the first time in 1978. Then I campground hosted in Tappahannock, Virginia in 1980, 82, something like that, a couple of years. Then I did the off grid building a place. Ex husband wasn't on board with that at all. That was not comfortable. So then we moved back to Maine, not where I was from, but to Corinna, which was north, like up near Skowhegan and um, Bahaba and Bangor, closer to Bangor, stuff like that. And so we moved up there, and I designed and helped to build a 16 by 22-story home, tiny house that became somebody else's cabin, cottage, camp. That's the word they use up there. Became their camp. It was on a stream. There were wolves and bears, and like it was wild. But it was close to town. It didn't have power, so it was off grid. But it was like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour from town. And fully intended to raise my two kids there. And my ex husband gave it away. Um, why was I telling you that? But anyways, I don't think I've got cabin fever exactly. I think it's just the adjustment of, oh, I know what I was telling you was about the homes and stuff. The idea of home. I was so set on that little tiny house I had designed and was building. I wasn't going to leave ever that was going to be my place for me and my kids. And if my ex-husband wanted to leave, that was fine with me, but I wasn't leaving that place. And then he gave it away. And so it was like, well, crap, what is it, God? What, you don't want me to have a home? What's up with this? And so then I traveled more and I stopped trying to have a home. I lived in some apartments. I hiked. I lived in a tent. I did some other things, just trying to like, I don't know how to. Hey, G, and Mary, good to see you guys. And Rockin' Van Life, there you go. Um, and so this whole idea of home was a thing that didn't fit well with me. It was like I don't understand why God or the powers that be are just not letting me have a home. Why can't I have a home and a family? I don't understand. And so then somewhere along the line, I just went, well, maybe I'll just stop having that idea. Maybe I'm supposed to be something different. So I'll stop having the idea that home is what I want. So I changed it. And it was like, well, I don't, and I'll just become a world traveler. So I started doing that. I started like going to other countries, living in hostels, hanging my hammock for $3 in somebody's yard. Um, I, it was great. I mean, I really was having a good time learning things, um, becoming kind of parts of, adoptive parts of other people's families and tribes and stuff like that. And I really did enjoy that part of my life. But then when I decided that I wanted to come home and I didn't have any home to come to and no people that I had connections with to come home to either, then I decided to hike on the Appalachian Trail. I did that in 2011. I did not finish, it was an attempted through hike. But I didn't go at it thinking that, well, in 6 months I'll be in Maine and that'll be the end of this. I did it with, I'll just live on the trail because I know enough about living in the woods and the Appalachian Trail went through my backyard. So I know this. I know this. This is nothing. So I was gearing up and I did that. And then I got sick and they sent me to a hospital they sent me back to North Carolina to a hospital. And they wouldn't let me out of the hospital without an address. And so, in order to have an address, I had to let them put me in a homeless shelter. And the homeless shelter had a little tiny box that all your stuff had to fit in. And I was like, I'm a long distance hiker. I'm not just a homeless person. Please make an exception. I need to be able to keep all my stuff because as soon as I'm through the 10 days, the doctor said, then I'm getting back on the trail and I'm going on my way. And they're like, nope. The rule is in order to use our address, your stuff has to fit this box. Well, my stuff won't fit. Well, that's fine. And so the ladies in the office did the that's fine comment and then said, oh, good, I'm taking this and I'm taking that because it won't fit in your box. And I was like, hold up, it's not your stuff. You don't get to decide who gets this. And I'm thinking fast in my brain how I'm going to like maneuver this situation I'm in. I don't know why it didn't occur to me to just go, well, because I would have got arrested probably. But to just take my bag and just leave and just go back out on the trail. I don't know why, because I try to do things by the rules. Because playing not by the rules never worked for me. So I'm trying to think fast and I'm like, oh no, you do not get to say that you get my stove or my knife or my down sleeping bag that has taken me 3 years to get. Oh, no, 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 no. So I take all my stuff back from these women who are starting to just take my stuff. And I was like, I'll be right back. And they're like, you can't leave. You can't leave. Watch me. So I took my stuff and I went outside in the parking lot. They're screaming at me from the door. And I'm like, scream all you want, is what my thoughts were doing. I was like, you can yell at me all you want. And I went outside, and the guys out on the street that were homeless, I just picked a guy and gave him my sleeping bag, and picked somebody else and gave him my stove, and picked somebody else and gave him my. I was like, you can't, they won't let you have it in here. And they're like, yeah, we don't go in there anyways. And I'm like, the only reason I'm doing this is so I can get out of the hospital with an address, and I'll figure it out. And so I gave the down sleeping bag to this old guy who was like, had a dog, and my $300 backpack, gave it to another guy whose backpack was falling apart. Those people were so happy. And then I went back in with only my like clothes, right? Went back inside the homeless shelter where I had to be for 10 days to recuperate from the hospital. That's how I handled that situation. And then I ended up eventually having to go back to Costa Rica to save enough money to then get a van and start a different life. So that's that 2011, 10, 11 years when I was first meeting up with Bob Wells and all of that. That's part of that time. And I mean, I'd already met Bob online. I just hadn't met him in person. And so that's how I handle some of these situations. And for me, the home thing, once I found out that I could, in the United States, I could make a vehicle my home. It works better in the United States than it does in other countries. But in other countries, I can just be a traveler and it's fine, but not in the United States. You walk down the road with a big backpack because you're a long distance hiker. People will throw things at you from cars. You will get screamed at. When you have to hitchhike to get ported from something to something, like across some big bridge that you can't actually walk across, the people who will take you, especially the men, will want sexual favors. They didn't get it, but they wanted it. Good Lord. Some of the things that I went through in order to do some of those things, they weren't fun. And yet I got through them, and I got through them with my ethics intact and with my whatever else intact, because I'm not letting you do that to me. I've been through enough shit in my life, stuff in my life. I've had the people who were supposed to love me, the family, the parents, the guy who says he's going to be your husband because supposedly he likes you. Well, 5 minutes after I'm married, he hits me the first time and then continues to be horribly abusive, and it was horrible. So it's like, yeah, I've had that. I ain't doing that. You're not going to tell me you like me and not get a reaction out of me. And probably the reaction will be, yeah, let's just see whether that's true or not. Because I don't even believe parents. Well, I mean, if we go back to biblical things, because yes, I do kind of believe in the Bible and things of that nature. But God didn't say that parents have to love their children. He also did not say that children had to love their parents. It said you had to honor them. And honor and love are two different things. Well, it took me a long time to figure that out and to accept it from what was happening to me as well. So those are some of those stories about how some of those things came about and happened. But as far as the idea of home, people were saying to me this summer, you'll be so glad when you get home. And I was like, yeah, I don't have that connection to the building. The land I love because it's peaceful, but I don't have that connection. And when I came home this time, I didn't have a connection to the term home, but it's sort of been this other kind of stability that is like, I'm so glad that I can be here and be safe. Maybe it's safety and stability. as opposed to one time I came home a couple years ago and I remember just going, wow, it didn't change. I didn't know that could happen. It's not destroyed. The windows aren't broken. Somebody didn't steal everything. And it was odd. And so, but for me, I found a connection real quick years ago with it's. Of course, I like interior design a lot. I'm very creative and artistic. I was an oil painter when I was 12, 13, 16. Then I became a little fashion designer for a while, worked in a boutique in New Hampshire, sold $800 gowns to rich people. That would have been when I was 17, 18, 19. Um, and so I've always been really creative and artistic. I have a good sense of design and color and things like that. And I love small space design. And for some reason, I like smaller vehicles as opposed to bigger ones. Who knows? I'm comfortable. I'm more comfortable outdoors than I am inside, anyways. Anyways, I think I'm healthier. I think it's a healthier way of life to be more in nature more often. So, um, so I just found this really cool piece of me when it was like, look, I can't wait to move into this vehicle. I'm going to make the bed this way, and this just already hollers this and the. This blue car I have this time does not ask me. Does that sound weird to y'all? But it doesn't speak to me in any way that I'm supposed to move into it. I don't understand. My my white tracker was like, "Oh, I can't wait to sleep in it and everything." But now I'm sort of like, I don't know what I want. I don't know about sleeping in it. I have, but it's like I don't know what I want. So maybe it's changing somehow. Um, and it's different to come and go from the property this time, um, and to come and go from people because this season, this time now, I just some days I'm like, oh, I wish I could like hang out with so and so today. And I catch myself and I go, wow, that's where'd that come from? What's going on? How do I deal with that? And having like last night, my neighbors showed up at like 9 o'clock at night to visit. That's new, cool, different, new. And he helped me fix something. Yeah, RVs are cool too. I just don't like it when my feet or my shoes freeze to the floor, which I've had happen. Jeremy, we'll talk. Love you. Anyways, let's see. Let me go back up here because I missed a few things. Uh, a rockin' van life. I had seen you came in. Hi, and G. Hi, G. Hi, G. Miss y'all. I know y'all down there, in warmer weather. Although it's been rainy and weird, and my rain came with snow and frost and freezy. The old ways you have the hunter gatherer and the wanderer. Yes, I do. The problems of the world today, and then look into what they do to our senior citizens. Well, yeah, there is that too. And G saying hi to everybody. And Iris saying you're building one heck of a home in heaven. Blessing others when you're being drugged down is sacred. You know, all I can say is if I'm being led to do that, it's what I'm going to do because I've learned to listen to that little thing. And sometimes what I wanted for help is what I give other people because nobody was there for me. And so, whatever. I'm not doing it because maybe it's being seen as sacred. But I guess it would be nice if that's true, Iris. And I have questions about what I believe as well. But you know what? It was the right thing to do in the moment, and I did it because it was not right to let those admin people at that homeless shelter, it was not right to allow them to steal my stuff. It was not right to allow them, let's say that again out loud. It was not right to for me to allow someone to steal. And so I didn't. And it was part of my training for me to learn to set better boundaries. And so I have learned more about boundaries. That's cool, Donna K, about your place. That's great. You have so many chapters in your life. I hope someday you write a book. You know, Iris, the writing a book thing, I wrote it down again the other day as I was thinking, I saw somebody online talking about 2024, and I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to do some more stuff too. And, back when I was doing my personal project planning stuff, um, I wanted to become a good mother by my definition of mother, a good daughter by my definition of daughter, a good aunt, friend, whatever. And I'm not done, obviously. I'd probably be dead if I was done. Hola, Bernie. How's Puerto Rico? Qué lindo de um, pictures. Am I saying that right? The photos. Um, Bernie sent me some photos this week. She's in Puerto Rico. Um, yeah, so yeah, the whole idea of home thing is changing for me. And then, allowing myself to have something I needed by letting myself get a dog. Okay. Allowing myself to maybe get a pair of fleece pajamas. So when I wake up on a cold morning, I'm more warm while I'm fixing the fire. That would be an okay thing to do. My minimalist side could allow myself to have pajamas at the cabin. That would be okay. Sounds silly, doesn't it? Okay, Sonia, what fuels do you use other than wood? Sterno, alcohol, would that help you? So, first off, people, if you would please put the three Q's in front of your question, uppercase Q's in front of your question, it helps me see them quicker. Because even though I have things like super chats and super thanks, I don't force y'all to pay me for me to answer your question. Uh, and you can use those things. I did get a check this week, by the way. Um, Thank you, YouTube. Thank you guys for being a part of this. Thank you for helping me. When I turn 67, I will no longer be on disability. And once that changes in my check, then I can like make more money. Okay, now to answer your question. I use wood. I also use sterno, and I use denatured alcohol, which is in the form of heat. They're both alcohols for cooking with. What else do I use? Those are my main things. My favorites are my alcohol stoves. In fact, let's turn this around and I will show you right here on this. Okay, this kitchen cabinet that I bought special for here has started to fall apart. And because it was press board, even though it had a nice metal top on it, I'm realizing I'm probably not going to be able to fix it. So that thing is getting wobbly and it's going to have to go. Now that looks awfully dark. So can you see? Is that, oh, there we go. Is it going to come back into? view a little bit. Okay, so that little stove that you're seeing, can I get my finger? That little stove right there. That's stainless steel, and it's actually a charcoal, wood, or alternative fuel stove. I didn't pay much for it, $10 or $12. I love it. It just doesn't hold a large pot unless I put a set of metal tent stakes or chopsticks on top to raise a larger pot above the the top of the stove to make a space for the air. So, but that one holds and use the 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 height of the sterno is perfect in that little stove. This stove over here behind the little red, that red is Wendy's bowl, food dish. This, okay, where's my finger? There's my finger. Okay. This bottom part of that stove is a Vargo flat fold wood multi-fuel stove. The pot, again, is stainless steel, but it's a 9-inch stainless steel wok. That combination is fabulous for lots of cooking. Love it. I use my Toaks titanium siphon stove inside that stove. And that setup is coming on the road with me. I left it here when I went through Nevada and got stuck. That's going with me in the future, not staying home. I can use that little titanium Evernew pot that's up on the top of the sterno stove right now. That pot also works on top of this well. Along with, I have another small fry pan that works on there good. So those things go with me. I have other stuff. The Vargo titanium stoves are very pricey. In the end, I wish I had just spent the money for them years ago when I first wanted them, because I've spent way more than that amount of money on other stoves trying to have something that worked that well for me. And so I would suggest to anybody now that if you're struggling with your income and budget, but you're like me and you're allergic to propane or something, and you're trying to use an alternative fuel, take a deep breath and bite the bullet and buy the stove you really want in the beginning, because, or check with me first and see if I've tested whatever it is you're looking at. Because all the stuff I've had over the years, this has worked the best. And it's been the thing I've wanted the longest. Maybe I could have saved myself all that hassle, although I like being a stove geek. But I probably could have saved all that hassle if I had bought that first. Um, I love my titanium pots. They don't pick up flavors. So I can make coffee in a pot and then wash it and make food in it, and it doesn't taste like coffee. That's kind of a nice thing. Plus, the fact that I'm a gram weenie. They don't weigh anything. They don't weigh what stainless steel weighs, which is nice for carrying. And especially if I had to bug out from my vehicle, and I needed to carry my kitchen with me, the titanium's the bomb. So that's that. I also have a Vargo. This is also expensive, people. I have a Vargo fold flat titanium hiking grill. It uses 6 or 8 pieces of charcoal and works like the bomb. And I love it. It fits my 7-inch. might be 8-inch titanium fry pan perfectly. It can hold a sterno can inside of it. So when I travel, most all these things go with me. The little stainless steel that I've got, the that I just showed you, this one with the sterno can in it, that one fits inside my Kelly kettle when I pack my Kelly kettle in its bag. And so that one goes with the Kelly kettle because it's stainless. And my Kelly kettle is the largest one, which is the base camp size. It's big, heavy, fine for car camping. I love it. I use it all the time. When I want bath water and it's cold out, that's a fast boil. Um, I'm just not going to travel with a car without those things anymore. Um, and so that can go with the heavier stuff. But when I've got a backpack, when I've got to bug out, the Vargo titanium stuff's going with me. So I basically can do the same kinds of things with these pieces. And then, of course, when I'm at home here at the cabin, okay, so I bought the red kettle to go with the wood stove. The stainless steel kettle I picked up for 50 cents at a thrift store. It's my outdoor fire pit kettle. But in the winter, sometimes I have both kettles on the stove. Right now, I have a soup bone in the little thermal pot in the back. My big thermal pot's down on the bottom shelf under that red tea kettle way down on the bottom. That's my big seven 7 liter, 7 quart thermal pot. Um, I would love to have that on the road with me, but then I would have to have a bigger storage space. So until I can figure out how to carry all these pieces, some things stay here and get used here more often. The wood stove, I cook inside of it, I cook outside of it. I cook on the top of it, but I also will stick that long handled fry pan. It's a little wide for the door, so I have to tilt it sideways a little bit, but I'll put it inside in the fire to like cook a steak. I am going to get, I used to have a really nice extendable fork, uh, fire pit fork. Candy and Rick really liked it. So I let them have that. They were going to use it more than I did in that moment. So I won't get one as fancy as I had. I'll let they have that set. But I'm going to get a telescopic fork because it'll be easier to stick something inside a steak or anything inside the firebox of the stove when I want to like cook as if it was on a campfire. And I've thought about, because I've been eating a lot of hamburgers lately, because it's pretty simple to get frozen burgers in a bag. And I've been thinking about getting a cast iron burger griller. Coghlan's make one. It's about 25 bucks. It might be worth it because it would be easier to put inside the firebox of the wood stove when I'm home and to use at a campfire when I'm out. But wow, I got off on that, didn't I? So alternative fuels, yes. Alcohol is my favorite. I love charcoal. Charcoal is a low, slow cook. And so I will buy small bags of charcoal. And sometimes I will just make a little, oh my goodness. Wendy, your feet were really sand. I'm not showing you. My black pants are covered in sand from her being on my lap. And I see that my little kettle is boiling. Whoops. You're seeing my face, not it. Can you see the steam? That's on sterno. That has been sitting here heating for quite some time. And this little cup Mary gave me. The top finally died. It split. This gizmo is a GSI coffee filter. I like really super hot coffee. I'm funny about hot coffee. Now, this I use this mug. It's not like I don't have to use this mug. It's not like necessarily my favorite or not my favorite. I don't really have a favorite. I'm not a big metal mug person. So, but I like this and my lip does not break out. And this little GSI coffee filter thing, very lightweight. You could tell that. You don't need a filter in it. But if I don't have a way to do this and show you. If I don't want to clean the filter, wash the filter, like here at the cabin, there's no sink. So I'm more old school. Did you guys know folding these makes a big difference? It sure does to me anyways. So I use a little filter inside because of cleaning. That's the whole reason I do it, is for cleaning. And then depending on what I have available to me for coffee right now, Folgers dark, Folgers Expedition medium. This is gross. It's vanilla something cheap that somebody was giving me. Cafe Bustelo, I like. I think let's have that. And then this, I need, whoops, it's going to fall. I just saw it going. Okay. This was a gift from Lifestyle Overland. I don't know, is their logo on this? Yeah, there. The bear. Lifestyle Overland. The family that has a place in New Mexico and travels all around with their children. They gave me that the last time I visited and saw them. But it's whole bean, and right now I don't have a uh-oh. I don't have a spoon either, do I? Right now I don't have a coffee grinder. I've got one in my, I don't think it's in my wish list. I think it's just in my shopping list because I was going to get it myself. But I'm going to get a coffee grinder that can either be powered or be I like double duty, all kinds of things. So you guys, yes, I scuffed my feet. Y'all getting to watch me make my little cup of espresso. Not even fancy espresso, just, by the way, I used to have an espresso mocha pot that I need to get one again. GSI has one that is, I think the 4-cup one is what they call it. Yeah, I think it's a 4-cupper. Anyways. So that's also something I'm considering getting again. Because there are times when I like it. I don't like it when it's my only way to make coffee. So I try to have more than one way to make coffee. And I like hot coffee. So normally I'm not a pour over girl, because pour over makes your coffee cold. Unless you're in Costa Rica and you have a good coffee stock, and then that's a whole different thing. What's going on, girlfriend? I heard you. Do you want to go outside? You want to go out play? Here, you could go out in the yard. Go ahead. Oh, it's the sunshiny. Cold still, but sunshiny. All right. Well, y'all getting to watch me do all those things. I'm well, we've been at this a little while. And then Yes, when I'm here, I often put the coffee grounds, filter and all, into my compost pile. Right now, I need to change my compost piles. I have a bunch of outdoor yard work to do, and I will be working with that more soon. And I checked on my vermiculture, my worm farm. It looked pretty good. So I kind of didn't mess with it much since I've gotten home, but I will be. I'll be doing more gardening stuff while I'm here, just because you want to be busy. I want to be busy. I hate being bored. So eventually, let's see. And but so for the moment, I just have an old coffee can down here that I oh you can't see. I had you backwards. So I just pull this out because I don't want to wash stuff is the only reason I use the filter. And then, I have a coffee can. It just goes in there and when I get ready that gets dumped. That's the way that works. And then this is a little drizzly, but I only have to rinse it off once I've made a cup of coffee. And so for now, since we're busy, I'm just setting it up there. And I got a nice little cup of hot coffee. And this cup will keep it hot for a little while because it's double wall. And I guess technically it's vintage, whatever. But the silicone lid cracked and split and is no more. But Mary, I do like the little cup. And y'all know I use my stuff different ways. Okay, so I've told you some of those things. I'm going to need to do something about, oh, wow. Speaking of stoves, I was going to say I'm going to have to do something about this because I didn't think it was hot enough. Surprise, surprise. There's little bubbles. Whoops, you couldn't see that. There's little bubbles in there. It's not boiling hard, but as long as the stove stays warm, then that will keep cooking. If I would, oh, I know what to do. Let me pull. Okay, let me show you what I'm doing. I'll pull this off because okay, silicone thingy to set it on. All right, but there's still, and not much heat. That sterno can's almost dead. But you know what? Rather heat the house up with more, rather than heat the house up with wood, because it's 71 in here and the sun's shining, why make it hotter inside? I'll just set this on here with this canister now. I think I have 3 more cans. I could put a canister. But honestly, it just needs to be at a rolling boil. And then I can set it. I could probably put it in it now. Put it inside the thermal outer pot, and then it'll keep cooking. So, but while that sterno can still has some heat, we'll let that sit there. And then y'all saw this one before, I think, the thermal pot, because when I did the tracker video with Tristan, I had it with me. That pot fits inside this. And so this will keep cooking in here. It's a thermal pot. Again, imported from Japan, kind of expensive. But I'm telling you, people, if you ever have the opportunity to have one of those and you do any kind of cooking at all, it's useful. I use it a lot. And honestly, you could make coffee in it or something else. I just don't. Um, I did recently get I thought I hit that. Okay. I'm probably not going to stay on much longer. I I did get a thermal French press. I like the wooden handles on it. Um, they're so messy to clean, but it's awful nice to have more than one cup of hot coffee. Anyway, I think we've done good today. We're at an hour and a half. Do you want to see outdoors a little bit? I just saw a fly. Wendy, where are you? Oh, it's chilly. Yeah, I didn't look at what the temperature was, but it's chilly enough that it would be nice to have a jacket on. Nice and warm in the house, but the sun's out, so soon my yeah, and there's a little breeze. Oh, that breeze is cold. Um, the solar probably is about dried off up there. There's one solar panel. That's something that this coming year, I gotta improve that and improve my reception for cell phone and stuff like that. But yeah, it's cold out here. Yes, I have a wise owl snake skin on my hammock, so my hammock can stay out in the weather. Yeah, it's cold. We're going back in. Yeah, it's 70 in the house. Yeah, I'm being a wimp, y'all. Okay. Yes, you pay extra for quality. That's true. But let me just say, if you're in the market for things kitcheny, alternative stove wise, to ask me if I can help you in any way to make a decision that would help you to not have to spend the kind of money I have over the years. Because I am a bit of a stove geek and I love to cook. And my life has changed and gone from cooking for 17 people or 400 down to cooking for one most of the time. Um, and being carnivore for a year, lion diet for a lot of that time. Um, simplifying down to I can put a steak on a fork and stick it in the fire and I'm happy. You know, um, but you don't need to buy as many stoves over the years as I have or pots. And oh crap, I spilled the coffee. It's not bad. It's not bad, but I slopped it. Um, uh, yeah, don't spend the money if you don't have to. Trying this and that and the other. Now I tried butane stoves back in the day, but back then it was really hard to find the canisters to buy. Well, then they became more popular, so then they were in like most all the Walmarts. But then they stopped having them be only butane. So they're a butane propane mix. So I can't use them at all. Plus, I know somebody that had one blow up. And I saw it. I ain't trying to have something blow up. I love my alcohol stoves. I'm looking forward to. I don't know how or when I'm going to get it because it's always sold out. But I want a Goshawk, I think is how you say it. It's spelled Goshawk, Goshawk or something like that. I want one of their stoves so bad. They have some of the prettiest, okay, functional, but prettiest um, uh, brass. They're siphon stoves. Okay, a siphon stove. This is a Toaks titanium. See, I've worn the name off of it. Toaks titanium siphon stove right here. And inside, part of what makes it work is those little tiny holes. So once you pour the alcohol in the bottom, once you light it, that alcohol gets warm. As it gets warm, it starts coming out those little holes. Well, the Goshawk one, instead of the flames coming out the holes toward the outside of your pot, it swirls in a swirl. And Anyways, I really want one of those. And the stoves that they have, pot stands that they have for them to go inside of, are brass and just beautiful and lovely. And they also have stoves where you can use simmerings and stuff. So I could get a little better control on an everyday basis. So yeah, I so want one of those. But right now, any of the models that I'd be interested in, they're all sold out. And so I just keep watching for them and keep, you know, that someday I'll be able to. Okay, question. I've seen the tiny metal fire pit that has a grill big enough to cook a package of hot dogs. I'm thinking it would be perfect for a single person. Um, Iris, I have a stainless steel flat fold grill that I bought. I did not pay much money for it. I don't love it. Um, it would cook a steak. The size is fine. Miss Wendy got up with me, and so while she did that, I was wiggling the phone around because she got the headset because I don't have the cordless one on because the cordless one was in the car when I couldn't get in the doors of the car this morning because they were frozen. Anyway, hi, uh, Miko. Good morning, girl. Anyways, so I bought this stainless steel flat fold grill. 4 pieces goes together. Where is it? Oh, it's out. It's outside because I need to wash it. I used it once. I'm not in love with it. I figured it was going to get gifted. Miss Iris, don't buy one yet. Let me get you a picture of that. See if it's something you'd be interested in. I will gift it to you if you would like it. It is stainless, so it's not something you're going to carry in a backpack. It's not super heavy, but it will definitely fit a pack of hot dogs or a small steak or something like that. Uh, they were on. Now, I did find out that I cannot. Let me try to do this, but I don't think I can do this. Oh no, it's only a poll. So we're not doing that. Not starting a poll. And this one, share, save, highlight. No, I thought there was a place on here where I could like do something and show you a screenshot. I would go find that grill to show it to you. It's on Amazon. It was around $10. I thought it would solve a couple of problems for me, and it won't. It won't do what I wanted it to do. It's a great little grill. There's nothing really wrong with it. If you want it, Iris, you can have it. It's not doing me any good. I'm just going to wash it up. Um, and yes, then you would have a mini. Then you would have Iris. You would have a mini fire pit as well because you could leave the top grill grate off and put a few sticks in it and make it a mini fire pit. It's just 4 pieces that go together and fit in a bag. So you and I are going to meet up anyways. You know that. So Donna K, is the Ghost Shock stove a wood stove? No, the Ghost Shock stove. The company is out of Australia, I believe. They make alcohol stoves. So, um, oh, some of the GoShocks stoves are multi-fuel, but they're more like bushcraft hiking kind of stoves. How's that? I hope that's helpful. Now, Iris, yes, sounds perfect. I thought that the stove, that the grill I got was going to replace this little stainless steel one that I'm using this morning, and it won't replace it for me. I I needed something that was I needed the stability um, of this stove, because that particular pot is tall and skinny, and so I needed the stability, and so that other grill. Let's go out and see if I can find it. But that other grill is not. It it isn't stable enough for me to use it in place of that. Come on out, buddy. That's a good girl. What a good girl you are. Oh, here we go. Turn it around. Boy, it's cold out here. Okay. So here's it. These four pieces, but I need to wash it. I tried using it. I have to wash it. Um, in just a second, I'll show you my hand. Let's put it on the middle of the table. I know I'm walking around with it, but here's my hand and it. Okay, so it's a good size, but I am very certain it's I used it once, Iris, but I'm fairly certain that I cannot put this together with one hand. Yeah, I can't. But it's the four pieces. And so these pieces go together and then this just snaps on the top of it. Anyways, that's what it is. I can't exactly put it together. Oh, wow, good lord, girl. This seriously, I'm a budget shopper. Y'all know that, right? Check with me before you spend very much money on some stuff, because I paid $10 for that, nine and change. Okay, nah, I ain't trying to spend. I don't have it. When you have $1,000 a month, you don't have money to spend on big things. So, okay, yeah. Sometimes I don't either at night with the campfires. It depends on whether there's company around. I want my fire in the morning. So I use the Kelly kettle in the mornings when I'm able to. And so I make my fire in my Kelly kettle first. And then depends on the situation I'm in. I could put my little wok, the same wok that's on the counter up there, that wok. I can put that on the top of my Kelly kettle. Whoops. Come on. There you go. I can put that wok. Where's my finger? There it is. That wok on top of the Kelly kettle using the pot stand if I have my food ready, right? Or I can put a couple of hamburger patties wrapped in foil. Okay. When I wrap food in foil, I put parchment paper down first. So my food touches parchment paper, then foil. And I can put that on top of the Kelly kettle, and while it's boiling the water, a hamburger patty will cook no time flat. So I can do those things with those pieces. But that little grill just would not give me, I was hoping it was going to give me the stability to hold that stainless steel pot that's my thermal pot, and it's not that kind of stable. But yes, you may have that, Iris. So when we meet up, you can have that, unless you want me to mail it somewhere. You would have to give me an address for where I would mail it. I could probably afford a flat rate mailer thing, but you let me know. I'll get it to you. You can have that. I got to clean it up. It's stainless steel. Stainless cleans beautifully. You all know that probably. So I think that'll be great. It's a good one person grill, um, but it just wasn't stable, and I needed the stability. Okay, I've said that a few times. So, all right. Are we getting done? I think we're getting done. We didn't do any big vehicle talk stuff this week. But you got a good fix last week with that. Um, we didn't get any big Chevy Tracker stuff. I know. Can you believe I'm getting a fleet because I have the 98 that's still in Nevada getting reworked and or the engine rebuilt, and the O2 that I've got here, the second gen one that's here with me. I can't wait to get back with my Zooks of Arizona buddies. I missed out on that early December ride down in, it wasn't Box Canyon, Surprise, down in Surprise, Arizona. Is that the right? Is that the right name? Anyways, I wanted to go to that, didn't work out. I was just newly home, and I didn't get a chance to. Uh, because Jeremy and I had talked about going to that thing together or with some of the guys from the shop that also have Zukis, but I got back too close to the event. A lot was going on here, and it just couldn't happen. So I didn't get to go. But then I want to be at the next thing. I love camping out with those people and hanging with them and learning more stuff about those vehicles. You know, I thought I was going to be a Jeep girl, but I can't afford a Jeep. And I have just come to love the Suzukis. And man, if I could have a Jimny. But I don't want an old Jimny. The new ones that I saw down in Mexico were the bomb. And you can get accessories for them. They're just so cool. But I love my trackers. And so we're rebuilding the engine for the white one, and I'll do some more restoration stuff. I am going to have offset wheels put on that, rims, wheels, because I just want a little bit more stability, and the little wider base would be great. Oh, that's wonderful news, Iris. So that's right. George and Tammy, Tiny GPS, are down at Imperial Dam in Yuma. Um, I never stayed at Imperial Dam. I've been there, I've visited. But I love Yuma, and I have camped in Yuma for years, off and on, because it's warmer and it's a bigger city. And Fortuna Foothills Library is the bomb. And you're going to get to hang out with Rebel Minor too. I like Rebel Minor. He kind of feels like, cousin family kind of thing. And we don't chit chat a lot, but we have. And he's been real supportive when I was going through my summer of the Nevada saga. And he talked to me a couple of times and just encouraged me to keep thinking like I was thinking and keep doing what I was doing, because like he said, he was willing to come after me as well. But we would have needed parts. We would have had to have towed it somewhere. We would have had to, and I already had Mike working on it for me. And Mike needs to get paid too. And I can pay Mike for what he's already done so far and take the job away from him. But how does that help him or me? And under the circumstances, what has happened seems that it helps us all. So, but Rebel, fun, cool, sure, off the wall, but aren't we all? Yeah, I like the way he thinks. Yeah. So, all right, guys. I'm feeling like it's almost 2 hours. I'm feeling like it's time to go. I'm tired. I might want to eat my breakfast now because I haven't eaten. I'm going to have to go get an armload of wood or two and bring them up on the porch at least. I don't know what else. Do we have more things? Yes, and I had been hoping to teach classes along with him. I was uh, Sue Ann and I had talked about me teaching at RTR this year. I do not. I never got into the WRTR thing. Sure, I've had abuses. I've had abuses from both men and women, and I'm not afraid of men, and I think co-ed is good, but whatever. So Yeah, I would have been teaching as well, but eh. So you all get to see me every Sunday anyways, and I tell you what I can think of each Sunday as stuff happens. And so here we are. I think you guys are all doing great. I didn't see any particular problems today. Please remember Jeremy. His father passed in like September or something. He's still dealing with family. I think they're trying to move, it's either his aunt or his great aunt to his property in St. John. She's been living in a dilapidated trailer in California. So I think that's happening for him. Um, yeah, bye bye, Donna Kay. Um, what's her name? My friend Carrie, whose husband passed, she's still dealing. It's going to take her a while. Just remember her. Remember Mojave Bohemian, who is a, a special ed teacher. Just remember her. Um, Also, who else had something going on? I can't remember. Somebody else. I know I'm clicking my tongue, girl. I can't think of who the other person was that had something going on. Anyway, and Homer and Kat are still in the snowflake area. Looks like they're going to be there for the winter. Oh, Johnny Johnny Ringo having a hard time with vehicles, needing to sell something. Oh yeah, Catherine was sick. That's right. I forgot you were sick. I don't. I If I forgot what it was, somebody come tell me again. But y'all just remember each other in your prayers. Hang in there. Yeah, that's you probably haven't heard from Mojave because she's, teaching and stuff. I think she's paying attention still, but I think she's just been busy. So, y'all, in fact, she helped me to get Wendy. But y'all pray for each other, hang in there, have a great week, stay warm and dry. Be careful out there. In the desert with the changes in the temperatures and the winter weather. There is such a thing called desert fog. It's real, it can be scary. What's weird is I have really good sense of direction. I got lost in desert fog one time. That's weird. I don't get lost very often at all. Y'all enjoy your holiday, your family connections, your friend connections. Enjoy your food, enjoy your special foods, enjoy your drinks if you do it. If you don't, enjoy your whatever, your coffee, your tea, your soda, whatever it is you do. Enjoy your foods, enjoy the time that you have, but please don't overdo it. Please have care and love enough for yourself and the people around you that you respect yourself enough to not be drunk and get hurt or something. And so, uh, do something nice for somebody, compliment a complete stranger, and just have a wonderful week. Okay? Y'all be good.